Hey everybody, I'm Charlotte Cunningham. Thanks for joining us this month on Winning Runs. We brought in a West Coaster this time from California, Danyelle Campbell. Super nice lady. Thank you for coming on today,
Thank you for
Danyelle. Danyelle is a multi-NFR qualifier, futurity champion. She's been known for making futurity horses into great rodeo horses, like her recent futurity champion repeat fame and regain fame, Coco's Cash, Pritzy Maker, That's Check. And so Danyelle's here to help us out with some different issues. You got started doing motocross.
Yes,
when
I was young.
You weren't from a horsey family.
Not
so
a
we've
horse
had two today that aren't horse family. So we're glad that she came. So you know that it's absolutely possible if you're not from a horsey family to be a world champion and go to the NFR and be a futurity champion. And Danyelle is just here to show us some of the dangers of overtraining your horse and she's got some exercises and some drills to keep barrel racing fun for your horse that's young to old. Thanks, Danyelle, and we'll get started on making that winning run.
Okay.
Danyelle, before we get started riding the horses and showing your exercises, you kind of wanted to explain some of your bits that we have here today, and you know, some of them are quite different, so let's just start with this. This is kind of an O-ring.
Yes, this is a D-ring snaffle that I ride in. I wish I could tell you who made it, but I have no idea. I've looked for another one because I'm scared to lose this. But I like that it has this roller bar in the center. A lot of horses don't like a two-piece mouthpiece that hits the roof of their mouth and gets them high-headed. So I get along with this, and I've run a few horses in it. This is what I ran Regain Fame in. This was his favorite bit. He was one of those that didn't like the two-piece. And right now it has a German martingale set up on it, which I will put on a horse and demonstrate later on. Most people probably know what they are, but some people get a little confused as to how to put them on properly and use them. But that is one of the get-ups that I use right there.
And this is another O-ring, and it's got a square mouthpiece.
Yes, this bit, it has a square mouthpiece. I ride a lot in this bit, but I keep my hands very light. This is what I use on pretty much any horse I have that needs maybe a little respect for you. I put it on 2-year-olds, I'll put it on my open horses to tune them. But the key with this is to just try not to tear their mouth up. I mean, this is what I use, like I said, to get more respect, get one listening to me without scaring, like with the leverage of a big shank or something. So definitely light hands with that, but it's a very important tool for me.
And it has a circle here to keep it from really getting,
yes,
you know, moving around here too. So, and it also has a martingale on it, but this is not a German martingale.
This is a running martingale. And I just want to say, like right off the bat, before I forget later on, I don't use a lot of martingales, tie downs, training aids. I have everything in case I do need it, but I don't, every day I don't put German martingales or draw reins on a horse. I want them to really learn just to listen to my hands, and only if they really need a little extra help or tuning or I'm struggling do I use any form of training aid. But I did bring them along to show you, and once again I'll put this on a horse to show what I use. And I use the running martingale mostly to get a horse to stop, kind of give their head back up. It's horrible for bending. Like, I want a horse to really open up and bend their head around me, and this restricts them. So I wouldn't ever use it for that. With training multiple horses, this is what I have found works on the highest percentage of horses. And to me, it's just breaking it down to the very basics. Horses are very simple-minded. I try to make it as easy as possible. Put a really good foundation that makes sense to the horse, is easy for them to learn, and that way any problem that comes up, I have something to go back to. But this is an exercise when my 2-year-olds, when I first start riding them, we will start walking and trotting around these tires like this, and it helps me to teach them, and I do it to my open horses too. Pretty much everything you see me do, I will start out doing on colts, whether they're straight off the track or just getting broke. I'll do it to my open horses, the same exercises, just to keep them sharp, listening, paying attention. So everything I do, it's not like it goes in stages. You can do it at any point of your training on any horse.
And what do you have? You have that square mouthpiece.
Right now she has the square snaffle. I try to keep her pretty soft, backed off the bit. She's actually a little on the clumsy side, and she'll like to hang on the bit. She's really light-mouthed, but She thinks she's a princess, so she doesn't always listen to what I tell her to do. So I'll ride her in this about once a week to just kind of back her off some.
Well, I'll get you, go ahead and start your exercises
Okay.
so you can explain what you're doing while
Okay.
you're doing it and what exactly how you get them broke in the rib cage and everything.
Perfect, okay. One of the biggest things I do is every time I turn a horse around a barrel, anything at all, I always stick an inside foot on them and I bring their nose around. I want their nose following and I want them to be able to go any speed, and I don't keep constant pressure on the reins, and that's what I notice a lot of girls do. Like they want to hang on a horse, they want to keep constant pressure, and I'm holding her right now. But my ultimate goal is to teach this horse how to stay, and I call it a C shape. I want their butt in and I want their head in, and I want them to do it on their own. So I'm going to loosen these reins every chance I get and use my legs to keep her out, or if I want to go tighter, I'll use my outside leg. But you'll see I give and take. But the basic idea of the exercise is to do a complete circle around these set of tires, turning each individual tire as you go.
Danyelle's now going to show us some of the exercises on the barrels, but first I have a couple questions for you, Danyelle.
Okay.
You mentioned that you don't like lifting your horse up, okay?
She means like this, to actually cross your hand
and
over
tell
their neck.
me why.
It's a little hard to explain without actually showing a person, and you have to feel it to fully comprehend it. But I can tell you, every time somebody does feel it, it's like the light bulb goes off and they get it. For me, it goes, first of all, to I want rib control. You don't get rib control by doing this. What you're doing is you're trying to control their shoulder and their head. However, if I stick my inside foot in her, look it, all of a sudden I have control of her face, her shoulder, her rib cage, and her hindquarters, all with one move. I don't think you gain that off of going like this. I think a horse can lock you out in the rib cage if you just try to pick them up. And it just is my own way of riding. I do better teaching a horse to come around to my hip. And once again, I can make her counter arc by doing this. It's no problem at all. It's all about using your legs. I rode cutting horses some, and I think a lot of my beliefs goes more to like the cutting horse aspect of barrel racing rather than maybe reining or something else. To be honest, I've never done that. But I want a horse very open through here in their turn and relaxed. I don't ever want a horse to feel stiff through their shoulders and their rib cage. I think without the rib cage, you have nothing.
Well, it's a very different idea, but I really like it. I mean, it just gives you more control.
I feel like it gives you more control of the whole body with one little move. The other thing that I was telling Charlotte earlier when we had a break is, for me, if I keep my hands low and always pull to the hip, and I'll unzip my coat here to kind of, oh, uh-oh, zipper's jammed. Hang on a second. We got a problem.
That sounds okay. At least it's not your pants.
No. Anyways, so I pull to the hip. I don't pull to my belly button. I don't pull out here. I don't lift. Now, this being said, I'm sure you'll see the odd picture of me going into a barrel. If a horse gets a little close, it's just kind of reaction to go like that. I mean, we do what we have to do to win in any situation. But I always pull to my hip as a rule. When I do my schools or give people lessons, I teach them pull to the hip. It's very hard to do, but when you walk a circle, you just want to bring your hand here and then control your horse with your legs. Like I said, I can move her out, never move my hand, and then make her turn and follow her nose, never moving my hand. This is very hard to do, and the one thing I can tell you is if you're going to go out there at home, try this on your own, stick your thumb down in your pants, just to train yourself to not cross over. And the biggest place people want to do this is on the barrel pattern itself. Right. They want to, when they get to a barrel and I have them trot circles and they get too close, they instantly want to lean forward and go like this. I sit back, I'll show you, I'll sit down even more and pull even more. And that's how I try to keep my horses honest, not hitting barrels, is by the more I pull a horse, the rounder they'll get, and the more they're going to round out their body, thus helping them step around the barrel instead of halfway through a turn going, oh my gosh, I'm too close, and totally changing my riding style halfway through a turn. Therefore, if I don't hit the barrel, I've made my horse come out of his turn, I've took the quickness and speed away, and that's why everything I do, I try to do right here.